Hey, what's up guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Volcanic deck profile. Now this is a pure Volcanic deck, and I was up late one night, and I was watching YouTube videos of replays and stuff like that, and I happened upon a video where somebody was playing like Ties of the Brethren, and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be stupid. So I came up with a little spicy text, and bada bing bada boom, we got a really interesting Volcanic deck. This deck is not your traditional Volcanic deck. This is on par with Chain Burn with how trolling it is. So anyways, guys, let's get straight on into it, and I will show you just how bad of a deck I've made. Now, I mean, it's not terrible like it doesn't work, because it works. It's just bad like your opponent might punch you in the face across the table after you get done. But let's get straight on into it. So before we get into it, guys, don't forget to check out my Patreon down there in the description below, and click that bell right down there for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. So let's get straight on into this and see what I'm playing. So first off, we're going to play one copy of Volcanic Doomfire. I don't see why more people don't play Volcanic Doomfire. Volcanic Doomfire is a really easy card to go into, and it is uber powerful. Like, it is crazy good. All you have to do is send a Tribalaze Accelerator, which your Tribalaze Accelerator reload counts as that on the field. And then during your opponent's battle phase, your opponent must attack with all attack position monsters they control. And when this card destroys and sends it to the graveyard, sends a monster by battle to the graveyard, destroy all monsters your opponent controls, and inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent for each of the destroyed monsters by this effect. So I don't understand why people don't play at least one Doomfire. I know it can be a brick, but you need to play this. 3 copies of Volcanic Rocket. Volcanic Rocket just lets you kind of draw out your Tri-Blaze Accelerator reload. Or your Blaze Accelerator reload. So that's why we're playing Rocket. Rocket is essential. It's like the, I guess, Stratos of the deck, if you want to say. 1 Volcanic Slicer. It's essentially just my Ties of the Brethren target. That's why I play it, and it inflicts 500 points of damage. That's the real reason I play it. Then I play 3 copies of Royal Flamestorm Guard, and I will tell you my logic behind this, okay? The reason I play 3 instead of 2 is because if you normal summon out a Volcanic Rocket, okay, and you search out your Tri-Blaze Accelerator Reload, and this gets killed, and you send Scattershot to grave, you've already got 4 in the grave. So it lets you have the normal summon next turn to get out to get them back into the deck. So that's why I play 3 copies of that, so you can get your scatter shots back into the deck so quickly. And you want to have this, even if it's in your hand and you don't have it live, you've got it for when it's ready to be live. So I never find a moment that I don't want to have this in my hand, so that's why I play 3 copies. It is so good to have this card in your hand. Then, this is the troll part. I play 3 copies of Barrier Statue of Infernos. Now, this is a Ties of the Brethren target, and there's so many cards in this deck that prevent your opponent from attacking. They're just going to get frustrated and scoop against you, which is hilarious. So, the reason I play 3 copies of this is because Ties of the Brethren just special summons it, and it's like Vanity's Fiend, and they can't special summon anything at all except fire monsters, and the majority of decks are not playing fire monsters, so that's why we play this. 3 copies is essential. You can normal summon it, but usually you're going to summon it off of, what's it called? Ties of the Brethren. Then I play 2 copies of Volcanic Counter. This card's really good. When you take battle damage, if this card is in your graveyard, you can remove it from play. Then if there was a fire monster other than a Volcanic Counter in your grave, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage you just took. People will forget that this is in your graveyard, and you can discard it for your cost of your Blaze Accelerator reload. And people will forget it's there, attack you, inflict damage, and they will literally kill. They'll deplete their life points and kill themselves. It's crazy. Like, it's really easy to do that too, because if you got 2, you can stack it, which is funny. Then we play 3 copies of Scattershot. Scattershot is essentially the way that this deck works. It's kind of like shotgun blasting your opponent's field and just destroying everything. When this card is sent from to the graveyard, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. And if this card is sent to the graveyard for the effect of a Blaze Accelerator card, you can send 2 other Scattershots from your hand or deck to the graveyard and destroy all monsters your opponent controls. So 1500 points of damage and a Dark Hole. That's essentially it. And then for the last 3 cards, we play 3 copies of Volcanic Shell. Shell essentially is just the fodder for us to get our Blaze Accelerator reloads draw effect off as much as possible. And just at the cost of 500 life points, we get to add another copy of Shell to our hand. Really good card. Deck thins the deck so you can get what you need. Really important to have. And plus, Royal Flamestorm Guard can add this back to your hand really easily if it's in your grave. Really nice card. So anyways, that is the monsters. Let's get into the spells really quick. Really love this deck. This deck is so funny to play. Like, it's just funny to see your opponent's reactions when you bust out the Scattershots and the Barrier Statue. Because it's fun to watch them squirm with that Barrier Statue on the field. I don't know why. I must just be mean. 3 copies of Pot of Duality. You don't special summon that much. If you don't draw Ties of the Brethren, you're not going to special summon. Like, you might open up a Pot of Duality and a Rocket, normal summon the Rocket, and then Pot of Duality into your Scattershot so you can get what you need. So you have to play this very wisely, because the only time you're really going to special summon is with Ties of the Brethren. So if you don't have Ties, activate your Pot of Duality. If you have Ties and you have a level 4 Fire Pyro, don't activate Pot of Duality. Do your Ties first. And then next turn, when you don't have anything to do, just activate your Pot of Duality. Then we play 2 copies of Magic Planner. I play so many continuous continuous trap cards in this deck. It is not even funny. They become dead if the monster leaves the field, like Fiendish Chain and stuff like that. So you send it to the grave, and then you draw 2 cards. So it's like a trade-in, but with continuous traps. Then we play 3 copies of Ties of the Brethren, which is the final spell of the deck. Ties of the Brethren, you pay 2,000 life points, target a level 4 monster, level 4 lower monster you control, and then for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon. I don't care. And then you special summon 2 monsters from your hand, or not from your hand, from your deck, with the same type and attribute and level as that monster, but with different names, and you cannot conduct your battle phase. That's why I like having Slicer, because you can inflict 500 points of damage even if you special summon it. I know that's a little bit lame of a combo, but it's still good to have Slicer in deck, so you can have another live target for Ties. So that's it for the spells. Pretty small spell lineup because we're playing a crap load of traps in this deck. So let's get into the traps. So since we're playing such little spells, and if we resolve Ties really quickly, we can play Imperial Order because it hurts our opponent a lot more than it hurts us. So 1 copy of Imperial Order. Okay, now here's my tech. Okay, here's one of my techs. Okay, I'm going to put this face down, and I'm going to tell you, it is a burn card. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 3 seconds to guess it. Okay, so here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, pause the video, guys. Comment down below, tell me what you think it is, and here we go. It is 3 copies of Magic Cylinder. Now, your opponent is not going to expect you to play 3 copies of Magic Cylinder. Okay, I know this is crazy. Okay, and I know not every deck can use this to the full potential, but follow me here. Let's say your opponent attacks you, and you've already inflicted 1,500 points of damage to them, okay? And you activate Magic Cylinder, and then you have a Royal Flamestorm Guard in your hand. You're going to inflict 3,000 points of damage to them in 2 turns, and have a Magic Cylinder face down. So why not play this? So it prevents your opponent from attacking the monsters that you don't want them to attack, like the Barrier Statue, and it lulls them into a false sense of security. And it kind of intimidates them because once you flip the first one, they're like, how many more of these does he have? So it's kind of like a mind game with Magic Cylinders to me. Then I play 3 copies of Fiendish Chain. Fiendish Chain is really, really good. It negates monster effects on the field, which is nice, and prevents your opponent from attacking. These 6 prevent your opponent from killing your Barrier Statue, which is important. Then we play 3 copies of the Blaze Accelerator Reloads. This card's really good and made Volcanics actually win a Regionals way back in the day, and that's why I play this. And the guy actually looked like Axl Rose, or not Axl Rose, whatever his name is, Axel from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. But this card becomes Tri-Blaze Accelerator while it's on the field in the spell and trap card zone, and during either player's main phase, you can send a Volcanic card from your hand to the grave, and if you do, you get to draw a card, and then you can banish this card from your graveyard during either player's main phase, and then you get to send a Volcanic from your deck to the grave, which is really, really good. And then for the last 3 cards that I play, you guys are going to probably say I'm crazy, and you can change these out if you don't like it, but I like them. It's 3 copies of Zoma the Spirit, okay? Here's another card that's one of those follow my logic. So let's say that you don't get your Barrier Statue on the field, but you've got your Tri-Blaze Accelerator on the field. Okay, your Blaze Accelerated Reload. And you got a Magic Cylinder. So your opponent attacks into your zone with a Spirit. So they got to pick and choose which monster they want to attack into your zone with a Spirit, because if you guys have probably never heard of this card, okay, basically this is a trap monster. You special summon this card in defense position as a effect monster, zombie type, dark, level 4, 1800 attack, and 500 defense. It's also treated as a trap. And if this card is destroyed by battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the monster that destroyed it. I play this because they have to pick a card to lose life points from. You have Magic Cylinders, you have Zone with the Spirit, and you have Scattershot, inflicting damage to them. Why not play Zone with the Spirit? Plus, it's a Magic Planar target. So you're playing 10 Magic Planar targets, but you can't activate it with Imperial Org, so it's really like 9. Plus, if you put it in defense position, you can let them go through with the little monsters, put this in defense position, and then they have to attack with the big monster, and they might not be able to get it. Also, you can suicide it into an opponent's monster, and they still take the damage, because it's like Amazoness Swordswoman. Really good card, love the artwork. Always wanted to find a deck that this deck card would work in, and apparently I did. So, let's get into the extra deck, guys. That's it for the traps, and the main deck, all together. Really love this deck. This deck is so trolly. So then we play 2 copies of Doolittle Chimera. I'm thinking about bumping it up to 3 because of it just making our Doomfire humongous. 1 Underclock Talker. Oh, and also it makes our Rocket come out at 2400, which is stupid. Underclock Talker, just because it's Underclock Talker. Decode Talker, because it's a Decode Talker. Borload, it's easy to make. Yugioh, because we can draw a bunch of cards and we need to get our Scattershots into our hand. You need to get at least 1 Scattershot in your hand. Utopia the Lightning, which is Utopia, Utopia S39, and Utopia Prime, or Utopia the Lightning, so we can get that 5,000 damage. Crooked Cook, just to blow up our board, just in case we need to get that, because, I mean, there's a combo with Crooked Cook, okay? If this is in your graveyard, okay, you can send your Scattershot to the grave, and if it's sent to the graveyard, you get to pop anyways. So that's why we play Crooked Cook, because if this is on the field and it's dead and you don't have Scattershot, you can banish it and then send your Scattershot and pop. So that's why we have Crooked Cook in here. It actually works, so it's pretty fun. Tornado Dragon, just to pop back row. 101 to steal monsters. Baguska, because it's plan B. Castel, because it spins stuff, and Diamond Dire, because it's kind of the same thing as Crooked Cook. You just pop the, but if it's kind of like, if you don't want to pop everything, you make Diamond Dire, but if you want to pop everything, you make Crooked Cook. That's the big thing. So anyways, guys, that's it for the deck profile. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoy playing this deck. If you just want to play something that's really like a troll deck, this is the deck to do it, without being too much of a, stick in the mud by playing Chain Burn. So that's why I played this deck. Really fun deck. Really funny to play against opponents. I'm thinking about taking it to locals. I know I'm probably going to get trounced with it, but I think it might be funny just to see the opponent's reaction a couple of times. Maybe I'll take it to locals after Masterpiece gets potentially banned on the next list, hopefully. Cross fingers. It may be already out by the time I drop this video. But if Masterpiece gets banned, this deck is going to be stupid. Because your opponent doesn't play Jinzo. Anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell down there in the next to the subscribe button, so for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. See you around, guys.